Getting straight into it. No intro, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? No countdown. Which guys, I'm working on that. Shout out to everybody. It is Thursday evening. You have now tuned into the JR Wisdom channel. Go ahead and cut that off real quick and let everybody pile in the chat this evening. I know you guys have been waiting. It's Thursday. Like I said, I'm just trying to get these live streams together, guys. Shout out to everybody tuning in. Had a delay because my daughter had a Christmas program. Well, she had a Christmas program that her daycare was doing. So, you know, I showed up for that, and that's why we would have been on here 7:15 as I had before, but wasn't able to make it. So I delayed it a few times, which maybe you guys got the alert, maybe you guys didn't. But here I am, and you guys are. It's not too late. Shout out to everybody. I'm gonna give some shout outs here shortly. You know, believe it or not, this topic I was supposed to do with Avery over a year ago. So this topic has been sitting like in my StreamYard files for like a while. So it didn't even show up on my it didn't even show up on probably for you guys. It probably didn't show up. I don't know. But I figured I'd go ahead and cover it because I think that this is very interesting. I hear a lot of ladies talk about this. And, if you guys follow me on Facebook, you guys know I ask a lot of questions. There's a lot more fellowshipping going on, if that's a word, on Facebook than it is on, YouTube and Instagram because it's a lot more easier for me. So if you're not following me on Facebook, go ahead and do that right now. The link is in the description of this video. And if you're on Facebook and you're not following me on YouTube, go ahead and do that right now as well. It is 8:38 Eastern Standard Time. Wherever you're at in the world, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. And it wasn't just Hove that said that. I said that too. So, and y'all be drinking them San Pellegrinos, man. You guys know I'm trying to lose weight. So, I got that tonight and my little these little sugar-free Capri Suns. When you wake up in the middle of the night and you kind of parched, you got to get you a Capri Sun. Or if y'all sleeping with a single mom, no offense to the single moms, and her fridge is full of Capri Suns and you drinking her kids Capri Suns, is just something you got to do. But I'm 40 years old and I got I got Capri Suns all in my fridge, because they're only 5 calories, guys. 5 calories, and this is what, 8 ounces maybe? I don't know. But I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. So who all we got in the chat, man? Before I start doing shout outs here, you know what I mean? Before I start doing shout outs, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's run it up. I think I already got 52 likes on this video. That's how old this video is. That's how long it's been waiting. You know what I'm saying? I got 52. It was probably 50 something. Where are we at? I know before I started, it was 52 likes. Man, we still at 52 likes. Everybody that's watching now, hit the like button, man. Come on. Sheesh. And y'all stingy. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. We not long stroking you or nothing like that. But few housekeeping rules. If you guys are just now, on one of my live streams, the chat is pinned in blue. If you got some thoughts you want to add, preferably from the women. But women always seem hesitant to call in. They like to watch. I understand. You want to just keep it in the chat. If you want to keep it in the chat, that's cool too. But if you got thoughts on this topic I'm going to be discussing tonight, please feel free to call in and give your side of the story. Also, hit the like button if you're interested in sponsoring this video, which is something new I'm starting now. I'm trying to take notes from other live streamers. If you're interested in sponsoring this video, which basically means, we'll put your brand or whatever up here, highlighted in the bottom left, like you guys see here on the screen as well. Then the starting is starting at $10. If you want to, anybody else who wants to sponsor it afterwards, you're just going to have to pay more than $10. So it's just like a bid, pretty much, for lack of a better term. So That's how it goes. If you want me to highlight your comments, super chat it. Otherwise, it is what it is. This is how we doing it here. But age, sex, location. Y'all know the deal. Go ahead and comment in the chat. I want to see where everybody is checking in from tonight before we jump into this here. We got 61 people in the chat. Let's run it up to 100. Let's run it up to 100 likes. That's the short-term goal here. I'll run it back. Let me see where everybody's from tonight. I know we got Miami in the building. Enos is in the building as usual. Who else we got up in here? I know the East Coast. It's always New York, Atlanta, and Chicago. Those are my three main cities that tune in. So we got Vegas in the building. We got the what's the 702 is Vegas, right? We got 702 in the building. 71 now. Or you can ask same question, blah, blah, blah. We got Toronto. We got Toronto in the building. Alabama. VA. We got NorCal in the building. Texas. Man, y'all got, when you talk about Texas and in Northern California, you got to be more specific. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear the city. Bay Area, same thing. Bay Area is pretty big. Killeen, we got Fort Hood in the building. If you're on Facebook, man, hit the like button. Or either if you don't want to hit the like button, come on over here to YouTube. Vallejo. E4. Oh, that's where E40's from, right? Vallejo. Shout out to Vallejo. Wichita Falls. Shout out. Shout out to Wichita Falls. I guess that's Michigan. E40. So anyway, that's enough shout outs for now, man. Let's get into it. We already 7 minutes in. So listen, guys. There's this narrative going around, right? That a lot of you ladies say you'll get with a pookie, right? And sometimes it's not always a pookie. Sometimes it's just some dude that couldn't do any better than you, right? First calf. Yeah, whatever. Sometimes it's a dude that, he settled, maybe. That's typically what happens. He settles. Or it could be three things, right? He couldn't do any better than you. He settled. He was struggling. He needed a woman to take care of him. Or you just started running your mouth too much, right? You just started running your mouth too much and you thought that you were building him up, but you were kind of tearing him down while you were building him up. So people in relationships, man, a lot of times they have exit plans. They have exit strategies. You know what I'm saying? They'll tolerate somebody, they'll deal with them. They'll get what they can get out of that person. And they'll realize, hey, I don't like how this is moving. Or maybe they'll even go into the relationship. Like a lot of you ladies, you'll get with a dude fresh out of prison, fresh out, and you're trying to get him straight. You get him his license. You want him to get his CDL and all that stuff. You want to get him, back on his feet and whatnot. And you may be a cold BBW or, just something. Because any woman that has to go to get a prison dude, you're kind of, I don't know. But hey, I'm being judgmental right now, but I get it. But if you got to go to prison to find love, then that says a lot about you. And there's a lot of women. Don't feel you're not the only one, but I am being judgmental because there are a lot of good guys out here, and you have to go get a convict, because it's easier. It's easier for you, right? He's not going anywhere, even though he may have a boyfriend in there. But he's not going anywhere. You can kind of control things. He can think. He has all day to think of things to say to you, right? So you come home. So he comes home, or the guy that you get with, you raise him like your son, right? You take care of him. You cook, clean. You let him drive your car, and all this stuff. And you think that you're being loving or whatever, and then you may resent him. Because he's not getting a job, he's not working, he's just taking advantage of you. And he's resenting you because you're taking care of him, even though he needs you. So eventually what ends up happening with this resentment is people tend to put out feelers, right? with y'all ladies. And ladies try to act like they're so blindsided. That's why on Facebook, if you see the questions I ask for you guys who are on Facebook, a lot of questions I ask um are because there is a strong lack of accountability in choosing men when it comes to women. They will say that this man did this man's a narcissist, this man's an a-hole. I see you, caller. I see you, Candy. I'm assuming you're a woman. I see you, Candy. We're gonna bring you on here shortly. Let me see. I don't know. I see anything. It's just gray. If you don't want to show your face, that's cool too. But I'll bring you on shortly. Just sit tight. But you got a dude that basically isn't much of anything. You got a piece of a man, and then when he up and leaves you, you leave it to saying that all men ain't ish. This man ain't nothing. Wow, why y'all be calling up if y'all be disappearing, man? You know what I'm saying? Y'all will call up here and then disappear. But anyway, you'll get a piece of a man. You'll try to control things. Your intuition, woman's intuition, works on everything except for choosing a good mate, right? Isn't that typically how it goes? And this man, he stays down, right? He stays down until he gets everything straight, as they say down here. He gets everything straight, then I actually said it like normal. He gets man, let me take this thing off, man. He gets everything straight, and he's out of there. Let me turn this off. This shit sounds too much like begging. Let me click this thing. Let me get off this thing here. Hold on a second, guys. I'm just trying to unhighlight this comment here. Yeah. So he gets his stuff together. He's putting the feelers out there. He's back on his feet. He's got his landscaping business going, or he maybe just got things where he's moving and grooving, is able to shake something, and he finds another woman that is more of his speed, is more attractive, that's more feminine, that's able to, meet his requirements in a woman. And this is what happens sometimes. This is why it doesn't benefit women to take care of men. Just being honest with you. I don't know who taught you this way. I don't know if it's just times of desperation. I don't know if it's a cheat code to just say, well, if I take care of him, he'll want me more. Nobody. I mean, the man benefits. I can't say nobody benefits, but the man, I mean, it doesn't work out typically. So the example I have on this screen here is a different example, right? What I mean by that is the thumbnail that I used was from Wait and Exhale with Angela Bassett's character. So Angela Bassett's character, she was his lover and his secretary, working 7 days of the week, whatever you want to call it, working every day of the week. And then she thought everything was going smooth, right? And Buddy was like, I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm leaving you for the bunny. And she was completely blindsided. But the thing is, we try to act like we don't know that our relationship isn't going well. We try to say that we were blindsided, right? And there are signs. I did this for you. I did that for you. Baby, we supposed to be going into relationships to give. Now regardless of if you took vows, in the case of old girl in the movie, she took vows. She helped this man get it. What was he, a lawyer or something like that? Getting everything straightened out, and Buddy just was like, "Yo, I'm leaving you, but I'll break you off with a nice check." And she was like, "No, I want more. I got these kids, this, that, and the third." And Buddy just up and left. Some men are unhappy a lot of times, and they just won't say it. I mean, how some people go about doing it is completely wrong. You know what I mean? I can say, like, do get blindsided. Not everyone is naive. I mean, we could talk about being blindsided. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because it does happen. People do get blindsided with certain things. But I think leading up to getting blindsided, you do see some things. But I think when it comes to a point of using someone versus someone being happy, I think women concern themselves more so with their happiness. As long as they're happy in the relationship, they couldn't care less or really pay attention to whether this man is showing signs of him being unhappy. And even if he communicates that it may be, you know, if she's toxic, she'll definitely go into gaslighting him and then leads him further not to be able to communicate, which goes to the conversation I had when I did a collab with a gentleman. The video should be coming out. I can't think of his name right now, man. With Alan. Was it We Need to Talk? I don't know. I'm messing it all up, man. I keep messing up his network, but his channel. But that's exactly what we were kind of talking about in the conversation was some men just not wanting to communicate because feeling like they don't have a safe place or a safe space, or they're gaslit. And then before you know it, because some women think a man won't leave, especially if she feels like, I'm holding something over your head. You need me. I don't, you need me. So I'm going to act a certain way. And some dudes, when it comes to calling the bluff, I mean, some women have ended up by themselves. And the narrative will always be, well, I did everything I could, I did everything. I took care of him. I paid his bills. I paid all the bills. I cooked, cleaned. I took care of his kids, not my kids. And he still dipped on me. And this is what leads, you hear a conversation with some women saying that they don't want to do anything in a new relationship with a new man because of the fear and that's an excuse. That's a cop out, in my opinion. The fear of if she basically looks out, because either you have it in you or you don't. If she takes care of this guy, if she cooks and cleans for this guy, he's going to up and leave her. I mean, and I've heard that. I've heard that from women. I'm not going to do that. What I look like helping you, or what I look like cooking and cleaning and all this stuff, when you're going to just up and leave. So what are you here for? You just want me to do everything for you? You know what I mean? Is that what's going on? I'm just supposed to do everything for you? And you just going to withhold giving out of fear? Then you don't need to be in a relationship, right? Because a relationship is supposed to be to give, if I'm not mistaken. And it doesn't mean monetarily, because if you don't got it, you don't got it, right? But that's what you go into relationships for, to give. And you just saying, I got this trauma from this last person, and I'm not going to give you anything, but you need to give me. Self. I don't want to be lonely. You need to motivate me. I need someone laying next to me at night. I need someone to inspire me, speak life into me, make me feel like I can do anything, make me feel like a natural woman, right? Oh man, what am I doing here tonight? What's up, man? What do you guys think about this? I'm seeing the comments. I had somebody call in. We ain't got no ladies. Somebody get up out of here, man. You ain't got no ladies with no war stories or nothing. What if she gives her all and he still go outside that relationship? Hey, on to the next, baby. What you gonna give 50%? Is that what you're gonna do? What if? There's always with the women, what if? What if a man? What if I give my all, then you cheat on me? What if you still sleeping with your ex boyfriend? What if you still sleeping with your ex husband? In that case, everybody can die alone, right? Man becomes hardened, woman becomes hardened. Nobody wants to nobody wants to feel. Everybody's dead inside. I don't want to give. And what you if you have kids, what that is, that ends up trickling down to your kids, right? Or you in turn end up love bombing your kids, right? You'll love bomb the child, but the significant other, especially the women, love bombing the children, and the man gets none of that, right? You go ahead and bring on. I don't know how to say your name, so I guess you're gonna tell me when you come on here. Yes.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's the Infinite Chameleon. It's the name of my tie-dye company.
Okay, the Infinite Chameleon is in Vegas, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. So how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I'm actually on my way to take my husband some lunch
Okay.
for his shift tonight.
That's what
So
I'm
he
talking
had a
about.
request. Yeah,
Mm.
he had a special request. So I'm on my way to get that done for him for tonight.
See, ladies, fellas, that's a woman right there. But you're probably like, what is she doing? What is he doing for her though, Jr.? But anyway, continue. What do you have to say about this, Miss Tie Dye Infinite Chameleon? What do you have to say about this?
So, okay, so this is my second marriage. My first marriage was to my childhood sweetheart. We were married for approximately 15 years,
Okay.
and things, went left, and there was, a lot of issues. So, when I say a lot of issues, I'm talking about there was a mental illness. There was abuse, alcoholism, all of this stuff, of course, is for me is documented. So when people ask, well, did you file police reports, blah blah blah, was there official diagnosis? I have all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with it being my childhood sweetheart, I when I got into my second relationship, I did feel a little bit like I'm not gonna give all myself to this person until I know they're worthy and blah 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 and all of this other stuff. And then I got to a point where stop that. You don't treat someone according to how another person treated you.
Right.
You have to go into that relationship with a fresh view, a fresh set of eyes, all of that, and give that person the opportunity to to mess up, to what I'm saying, to say, okay, well, look, I'm not going to do this if you're going to keep treating me this way or that way, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's sad that so many females have all of these lofty expectations of what they're expecting a man to do, but they won't do off rip. So let me give you an example. In my first marriage, again, he was my childhood sweetheart. So when we started hanging out, the first thing I did for him was I cleaned up his apartment. I made him lunch in between classes, took care of his laundry, and all of this stuff I did without asking.
Mm.
Okay. He just, he would just like, okay, I'm on my way. I'm leaving the job. I'm on my way to campus. I got to stop and get something to eat. No, you don't. Stop by your apartment. I have your lunch made already for you. So you can do that and go do what you need to do. Later on, he was taking lectures, whatever. I would go sit in some of his lectures and I take his notes for him
Mm.
so he could focus on what the professor was saying. Um, that's just, I just did it. He didn't ask me to. I said, give When he made the choice to leave college and join the police academy, I was not, necessarily happy about it, but I'm moving according to his purpose, what he wants. And by this point, I'm his wife. So, and I was married at 18. So
Right.
he got me young. And, but I would go up to the academy when he up there for lectures. I'm like, okay, cool. You on the lecture, I'll take your notes and I'll do the outline thing so you can focus on what they're saying in the class. He graduated at the top of his class. He was number 2 in his class. So these are just things that I did. He didn't have to ask me. It was just me to help him get to where he wanted to be. And it was just, I don't know. I didn't need somebody to tell me these things. Now, the young ladies today, it seems to me that they're a little dense in the head because they don't think of, okay, what can I pull good from what I saw my mother do, my grandmother do for a man, for her husband, and then incorporate that into my life and make it a better situation for the relationship I'm in. It's like they don't have that wherewithal. They don't have that capacity, and it's sad. You can't run around talking about how educated you are and all these degrees, then get completely game goofy about what it means to be a good partner or in a good relationship with someone and be of benefit to that person. Right. That's one of the issues that I have with these females. It's like, now you're playing dumb. You can't expect a man to be doing all these husbandly things for you and you won't do a single wife thing for him until you're married. It doesn't work that way. You got to show that worth beforehand, not after.
So you got to be a
and
wife
I'm sorry
first.
I'm being long. Yes, and I'm sorry I'm being long-winded, but it's just something that I know just as who I am and what I did and what I saw. And I'm like, okay, well, my mom acted this way. Well, my dad, okay, I'm not going to do that. All right. My grandmother always did this, served my granddad first, made sure that he had whatever he needed. And then it was everybody else in the house. I'm the same way. It's just natural for me. And it should be natural for more females, but they're so selfish and self-centered. It's actually quite pathetic.
Right. I appreciate everything you're saying. So you were doing, just for clarification for people who didn't hear it, with your second husband, you were doing this before you got married to him, right?
That's correct.
So
I make sure his clothes are ready. I mean, my husband has worked construction. He has on both sides of the blueprint. I'm talking about out in the field and in the office as an estimator. So he is, well established in that field. My husband has been, an actor for several years, working, key background on some huge shows and movies. And whatever I needed, babe, you need me to help you get to the set. What do you need? Your call times. I'll make sure I kept him booked, when he was in between jobs, to where casting agents were calling me to see if my husband was available. You got to do what you need to do to help your man. If he needs help with his resume or something like that to get it tightened up for an upcoming interview or something like that, you got to be willing to do those type of things. These are the things that you do without somebody asking you. You just kind of know, okay, right, my man is going to be transitioning from this to this. What can I do to help that transition go smoother? He needs to make sure, like his lunches are ready. He's not having to think about other things while right, he's on the job. It's about making his life run smoother. And you know,
Absolutely.
I,
So I was gonna ask you this, and I saw somebody just asked it in the chat because the first thing people are gonna ask is, what was he doing for you?
well, what he is doing for me is he makes sure that all of, the bills and things are taken care
Before
of.
you got
You know,
married, before you got married.
before we got married, I mean, he was doing those things. He was taking care of any extra finances that needed to be taken care of. And that wasn't like, a long time before that happened.
Right.
But, financially, he was doing what he needed to do for me. He was also, my muscle. If I was in a situation that was kind of scary, he was the person that was there to protect me. He's former military. He's a veteran. So, hey, all I can say.
Mm. Yeah, because that's
Just
what
fearless.
that's what ladies ask, and I've heard based off what you're saying, a lot of women will say that sounds a lot like slavery, or a lot like you're
No,
being his
no,
mother.
no, not his mother at all. Trust me. That is
Yeah.
that is definitely something that I have never even equated. And to hear women say it's like slavery and all, it's offensive to me because I
Right.
did everything I did, first husband and current husband. I do it with love in my heart and knowing that I'm making their life run smoother. So even though with my first husband, even though it didn't work out, one of the best compliments that he ever gave me without giving it to me directly was he ran into my sister a couple of years after our divorce. And he said for my sister to tell me, I'm sorry. And one of the things I miss more than anything is I miss, Tracy cooking for me. Please tell her because she made the best dishes.
Mm.
So that part right there, him acknowledging even a couple of years after the fact and apologizing how things wound up, and then acknowledging that something that I did for him was really special to him. Come on.
Mm. It's very rare, especially when you get out here in these streets and you come across
Exactly.
these women's. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
You ask her to, hey, can you rub my back? You know what I'm saying? What? Do what now? Yeah. Everything is about what can you do for me. So I think a lot of the stuff you
Yeah.
said, a lot of stuff you
Mhm.
said, it comes with being raised that way and being intuitive. Because a lot of stuff, it seems like it came off as a woman being intuitive and knowing, hey, off top, like, okay, how can I help him? How can I make our lives easier? Rather than
Exactly.
just sitting back, just
Exactly.
okay, let me just sit back and wait. You know what I'm saying? Or wait to be told something.
Exactly.
You know,
Mhm.
I don't know. That's a breath of fresh air just hearing that. Is it Tracy?
Not and finally.
Mhm.
Yes, it's Tracy, actually. Yes, it's Tracy.
Okay. Yeah.
Part of that is it's like you said, it's being intuitive and paying attention. Because I'm gonna tell you something. My husband loves ball, and that's his thing. I'm right there with him. If I don't understand or get something, he'll let me know. But I don't interrupt him at the wrong time. Whenever he's watching any sport, whether it be football, baseball, or basketball,
Right.
I want to find out, more about what he likes. It's not all about me. And my husband works hard and he deserves to enjoy those peaceful times of watching the game or, just chilling out because he's got, another 12-hour shift that he's got. So I need to give him the space to rest and do what he needs to do. And then while he's doing that, guess what? What does he need ironed? What
Mm.
does he need prepped for while, he's chilling? Because I need him to be able, okay, you can get up, take your hot shower, babe, and yeah, all your stuff's all ready for you. Your lunch is ready and you're good to go. That's just, I don't know. It's just natural for me. I think it should be natural for more women, but I think they're fighting so hard inside of themselves to be these nasty little mean people that they don't know what having just a genuine, kind, selfless bone in their body is about. And it's
Right.
sad. It's just sad. Yep. But
I
I am
think
pulling up to the spot that he's requesting. So I'm gonna jump off the phone. I'm
yes,
well
ma'am.
off the call, and I'm gonna let you continue on. But it was so good to speak with you. I've been watching you for several months now. I'm so happy for your growth and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna get in and be one of those regular subscribers. You know what I'm talking about.
Indeed. Well, I appreciate that
Okay.
that information and that what you put out there, Miss Tracy. And you have a good night.
Absolutely. All right, you too. Take care.
Later. Shout out to Miss Tracy here. I see you. I got another caller in here. But before we do, hit that like button, guys. How many likes? I know we got the mods up in here, man. You guys need to be telling them get the likes up in there. I don't know what the current count is, showing 52 on my end. Maybe I need to refresh it, but you guys hit the like button. That was something that you don't hear too often. I know a lot of women probably were or probably listening to her, and when you watching the restream, yeah, we gotta get it up to 100 likes. You're probably watching the restream and you probably just giving her the gas face right now. Like, she doing too much. She's doing the most or whatever. I would never do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's if you did, hey, just try something new. What she said also, which was important, is you got to take the individualistic approach in relationships. This goes for everybody. You dealing with somebody, you talking with somebody, you know what I mean? You got to have the individualistic approach. You have to be, I'm not saying don't be cautious. You know what I'm saying? Don't be cautious, but definitely you got to keep all that stuff, especially if you're trying to find the love of your life. But what she describing, ironing clothes, not having to be told to do stuff, getting right on it, man. Hey, I don't know. But get those likes up, man. We about to bring on this next caller here. What did you say, Enos? You said we had 60. You said we had 69? 69? We got to get it up to 100 anyway, man. I see we got Atlanta in the building. How you doing, sir?
Yeah, we out here. We out here, man. What's
Yeah,
good?
be safe though. Be safe. You know.
Yeah, out here. I see them. I see
Yeah.
them. We good though.
Yeah. What you got to
Yeah,
add to tonight's topic there, brother?
yeah. It doesn't. This is why the red pill was created, because a bunch of women come online and say unfounded stuff, and then men have to prove the opposite. Pretty much what happens is, because I didn't catch the full context, but I'm gonna say this: men and women lose when you come out of a relationship. In a lot of cases, men and women lose. This is why in the olden days, it used to be you were set up with somebody, you married that person, and you stayed with them forever.
Right.
Because what happens when you leave a relationship? For the man, in some cases, a lot of times, you got a child with that woman. Now you're paying child support. You might not see the kid. She might have full control, full custody. The you might pay alimony or whatever the case may be, right?
Right.
You lose friends. And on the woman's side, I mean, you might be left with a child. You might be the single mom. You might, and now you got another body on your account. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lose lose situation for both.
Right.
You know what I mean? So unless you're narcissistic, I don't see how you can't see that. The olden ways, was smart. I don't know if anybody believes in God, but he was the author of marriage. You know what I'm saying? So if the author say it, I think he knew what he was talking about. I'm just saying.
Mm, I agree.
But I didn't catch all the context because I'm coming late. What were they saying? What would they mean by building up men? I didn't catch that.
So basically, the topic of this video was that there's a common saying, which is the title of this video, that women will build up men for the next woman and end up destroying her in the process to just leave her for the next woman, right? And
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I know you've I'm assuming you've heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
All the time. All the
yeah.
time.
So I don't want to do
Um,
this. I don't want to do that, because if I do that, he's just going to end up leaving me for the next woman, which is a cop out at the end of the day. And that's what the last caller, Tracy, was talking about, about her situation and having the individualistic approach when you meet someone new, despite you might maybe jaded from your previous relationship. But yeah, that's the gist of it.
well, it really don't make any sense because we know, and if we look at the numbers, women are the ones that leave long-term relationships.
Mm,
They divorce like a 90% clip, 90+% clip. They the ones breaking up families. So I don't know what women be so scared of. Like,
right.
um, they're be the ones, breaking up. Even the mother, single father, whatever you want to call the situation. So, as far as them building up a man, like how many women really, what are they building up? How are you building up a man? I rarely come across a woman that is like supportive. You
Mm,
know what I mean? That's not the narrative we have of our community. Our narrative is women, at least in the black community, is to tear down black men. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Like, you ever heard of the story of Tupac? How he met his father late in life?
Right. Billy Garland. Yeah.
Billy Garland.
Yeah.
His in Tupac's music. This the man that wrote "Dear Mama," by the way. In Tupac's music, he said his mother used to tell him he wasn't crap,
Right.
and he left the house and became a drug dealer to find some sort of worth, to put some money in his pocket to say I'm worth something. Became a rapper to say I'm worth something, and then she treated him like the prize. You know what I mean? So
Right.
and those women are raising the women we date to say the same thing. You ain't nothing. You know what I mean? And the only time they really value us is when we make something of ourselves. So my opinion is the opposite. They wait for us at the finish line if we're there, and then they take us. That's what I think. I don't see no Pookie and Ray Rays being built up by Charlene to be, uh, number one IBM engineer or nothing like that. I don't know where they're getting that from.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the narrative is, I'm not saying he's going to be that top dude, but I think that, as I said earlier, you came in later, is that some women will get with some man or a Pookie or a man who's down on his luck because this man may need to settle at the moment, or he's just dealing with a woman that he's just tired of hearing. She's probably belittling him, demeaning, emasculating him, just saying, or attempting to emasculate him, excuse me. And basically he's working on his exit strategy the whole time, and she just doesn't recognize he's unhappy, until
Yeah,
he's putting his feelers out there to find someone that'll treat him like somebody. And when he does that, after she felt like because you can't take care of a man. What I mean by that is you can't, and that's what I was saying. You can't raise a man in terms of trying to uh have him move in, the Jody character from Baby Boy.
yeah,
Yeah, you can't do that to a man. And then when he does move on, you get upset the fact that you tried to. This was your son, and he left the house. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at
yeah.
it. Just my thoughts. But yeah, I think that's kind of like what happens, in my opinion. But it's a common narrative that women talk about in terms of this guy just leaving him high and dry.
I,
So
I don't see. I mean, the narrative. I don't see a lot of women that really like a good, decent, or at least I shouldn't say like value a good, decent, blue collar man. It's either they love Pookie and they value the high value man. So I
right.
don't know where they're getting that from. Like it if you go back to high school, like there was always it was always about the popular guy, the basketball player, and it is the same thing now. Like that's what they want. They value the man that has money, and they like the guy who has nothing. So, if they were to choose, and I know they try to flip that back on us to say we can choose. We have much less options than women do. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? They have the option to choose amongst all these men, and you choose to date, erratically, like, and so, um, yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Your problems, if you are in that seat, is your own behavior. It's because of your own behavior, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. That's what's up, man. I feel you on that one, man. Anything else you want to add? I got another call on here, brother.
No, I mean, I really the woman before was a breath of fresh air. Um, and if women really wanted to talk, they would talk. They don't, so they just talk in a bubble. That's all.
Gotcha. Indeed. I agree, man. Well, appreciate you calling in, and we'll talk soon.
All right, one.
All right, have a good night. Shout out to that brother right there, guys. Before I bring on the next caller here, he had a take on that in terms of the ladies out there, which I know the ladies don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's being said in here. Someone said, I read in the chat, which I want to get your thoughts on this, especially the men side of it, when we talk about how marriage used to be when supposedly women just stayed in marriages unhappy, right? And when you think about marriage, is marriage about love? Is it about happiness? What is marriage about at the end of the day? Should you stay in an unhappy marriage? You know what I mean? Because obviously that's one of the narratives, is that women had no choice. They had to stay in these marriages, these arranged marriages sometimes, and they had no say so. They were just there to clean and bear a man's kids, or have kids by a man. And they were unhappy. A woman's happiness didn't matter. But are you happier now? I mean, who's to say? Because we didn't exist back then, because we're here now. But you probably know your grandparents and whatnot. Are you happier now? Just a thought. So I see you, Beans. I'm about to bring you on here. Hit that like button, guys. How many likes we got? Let me refresh this real quick. 126. Okay, cool. Hit that like button. Let's run it up to 200. Yes, sir. How you doing there?
It's good, fam.
Hey, what's happening? Chicago?
Absolutely.
Already. How you doing, man?
Cooling out, brother.
Cooling. That's
Yes,
good
sir.
to hear. What you got to add on tonight's topic?
First of all, I want to say, and I know this probably not going to go well, but what else is new? To the lady who was on before the last guy. Not
Right.
to her. Let me not direct this to. I'm not directing it to her. But it was so weird to me listening to that, because I didn't hear her entire conversation with you, but all I heard was, I leave him alone when he watching sports and iron his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening to that and I'm thinking, we're celebrating the most minimal crap ever. Like this is the least bit that we feel like we can give to a man, right? Because usually when we have these conversations on these panels and we ask women questions like, what do they bring to the table? Why should somebody choose them? And this and that, they really don't have any answers, right?
Right.
So, like, again, it's not to disparage her, but it's like, iron my clothes and leave me alone. That's the thing you're doing that's so magnificent.
Right.
Right. But it just goes to show, right? Her husband hasn't left her.
Right.
Right. Now, let's just, be a little facetious just for fun. We know she does more than just that.
Yeah,
right?
she said some other stuff. You probably came in late. Yeah,
Absolutely.
She said a whole lot of other stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah. So, but just for the sake of just, being a little bit facetious, right?
Right.
Let's just say that is all she did. Well, he still ain't left her. Right? So that just goes to show you how simple men are, how easy it actually can be to please and satisfy a man.
Indeed.
Right? Whereas these demands that the women want to put on us, I mean, we have to go literally take on the world in order for them to be temporarily satisfied with us, right? Because the satisfaction never lasts.
Nah.
So I did want to point that out. The other thing, to answer the question, do women build men up for the next woman? Absolutely. I think the reason why, I hate talking point guys. I hate regurgitating talking points from other content creator guys, right? So I like to think for myself.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, absolutely, women build men up. Because what do we actually want from them? Sex. That is the great motivator for us. Sex, them laughing at our jokes, them looking good on our arm when we outside, them shutting up when we want them to shut up, things like that. And yes, the majority of women are out here providing that for men who are never going to marry them. That is a fact. So the answer to the question is absolutely, women help build men up. The problem is that when we hear the phrase build up, we automatically apply that to like she got a chisel and a stone. Right. And she's making you into the man that you are. No, it's not like that. Right. The building up that a woman does is more of an inspirational muse type of build. She's a nurturer and she's a comforter. And absolutely, they provide that, right? Then the other part is a lot of men who be like, yeah, but these women be angry and bitter. Well, in the military, they believe they're also building you up. And when you go in there, they're loud and angry, yelling and screaming, talking about your mama, hand all in your face. And they call that shit building you up. So just because you might have done something to anger a woman and she expressed that anger does not disqualify the building up that she is actually participating in. So that's a fact. Now, if you notice, I ain't said nothing about you laying on her couch. I ain't said nothing about you using her internet, driving her car while she at work, swiping her debit card. I ain't said none of that because that's the idiocracy that black people go to immediately when they're talking about building up. Specifically black women. They go right to you wasn't shit and you needed me versus just, no, we were complimenting each other. And that's the actual building. Right? Because some people will say, well, that guy that you're talking about who was absolutely doing nothing, you weren't building him up. You were enabling him. You understand? By the time he actually got on his purpose, he had checked out of the relationship with you because you weren't facilitating the building. You see what I'm saying? So we just have to be smart about this when we're communicating. Stop the talking points. I like Kevin Samuels and Coach Greg and JR and everybody else. And Angry Man, I like all y'all. But you don't have to regurgitate everything you hear. Think for yourself. Look at the world around you, right? And then say what is true. We don't benefit ourselves in this quote unquote manosphere red pill space, not giving women credit for the things that they actually do. That only takes us back. It only keeps us competing with each other. So we have to be honest.
Well said. Definitely agree. We must take self-agency in relationships. It's not all good, not all bad. I definitely agree with that. And especially the enabling part. You know what I mean? What do you think about the happiness part of it?
Even for me, man, being in my 40s now, it's a difficult thing to tackle that particular subject because on one hand, you're going to have half the people telling you that it doesn't matter. And then on the other hand, you know that you desire your own version of it.
Right.
So I can understand why people are saying you cannot make that your primary objective. Happiness cannot be your primary objective. But at the same time, I don't want to be dismissive of it either. Because if I am unhappy, then I'm unpleasant to be around. I won't be able to do my job, whatever that is, man or woman or child for that matter, right? If I'm unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think sometimes we reach on what we think unhappiness is because it can be fleeting. Sometimes you don't get what you want, and then that gives you a feeling of dissatisfaction. And then we hold on to that, and it becomes what we consider is unhappiness. Versus if you realize, okay, I wanted this thing, I couldn't get it right now, I'm disappointed, I think about it for 30 seconds or 3 minutes, and then I'll move on with my life, right? That's what I always tell my kids. Something going on, you don't like, whatever, give it 30 seconds. If you need to, give it 3 minutes, but then move on. Don't let it stress you out no longer than that, because it's not going to benefit you. Right. And I think that's kind of what we go through. Now, when we're in relationships, it can be different, right? If you're a man and your woman ain't having sex with you, she keeps saying no, it's been a month or 2 or 3, that's a problem. That's a real problem.
Agreed.
Right? And it will become unhappiness because of the fact that it has become systemic. You're consistently dealing with it.
Right.
No matter how much you try to tell yourself it's not that bad, if you got to keep going through it, it's going to induce unhappiness. Right? And then you might seek happiness outside of the home in some form or fashion.
Right.
Right. I heard somebody say on the podcast the other day, they believe most men cheat because they're looking for femininity that's lacking in their relationship. Because at some point, your woman gets really comfortable with you and she stops trying to be nice. Right. Which is the essence of femininity, niceness.
Right.
Right. So I was like, yo, that sounds really deep. I think we probably need to say that more often than just trying to say every dude is just a horn dog. Right. Specifically in relationships and long-term relationships and marriages. Right. So, but yeah, I can't, I'm not never going to tell nobody to ignore it, but I think you have to be able to compartmentalize and understand what you're really dealing with. Every time something doesn't go your way, that's not a moment for you to be unhappy. It's not a moment for you to feel like it's unhappy. Everything that feels like discomfort is not unhappiness. You just have to be able to really compartmentalize and understand what you're dealing with. And respectfully, on the second part of the question in the title of the show, which is, wow, he destroys her for the next man. Right. Unfortunately, that also is true, but it's not the intent of the man. The reason why it's true is because it happens, but that is not the man's intention. Most men are not out here trying to destroy women. They might be trying to destroy the vagina, but they're not trying to destroy the women. Right. But the problem is the way that women associate love, right? The way that they associate care, right? Their what is it called? Their love language, right? Words of affirmation and gifts and all of this different stuff, protection and provision. So once she has been giving herself to you and it didn't lead to what she thought it was supposed to lead to, that's a chink in the destruction armor. You see what I'm saying? Now, if she goes through that 2 or 3 or 4 times, now you're talking about these women that we're speaking about a lot, who carry around a lot of vitriol for men. They become feminazis. Everything is anti-male, right? So it's like it's a unintended consequence of sex, right? It's an unintended consequences of people fraternizing with each other and not necessarily even believing, because a lot of times I know these women know they don't even necessarily want long-term relationships with these guys. In their mind, they believe they're settling. And at the end of the day, when the guy's gone, it still impacts them the same way. You see what I'm saying? So in real life, what I do on my platform is I just try to support women for whatever they want. I don't tell them not to be whores, but I just tell them to understand, if you're going to be a whore, wear your whore's armor proudly. Don't expect for us to see you as a wife. If you're a wife, don't move like a whore or with whores, because you don't want to be viewed as one, right? Wear your wife armor proudly. So if you're saying to yourself, well, men can sleep with a lot of women, why can't women do it? And you do it, then you have to be willing to suffer the consequences of that. And when you actually do become destroyed behind these sexual relationships, just don't blame the men. Don't make it seem like the men are out here trying to destroy you, because they are not. They are just trying to have fun the same way you said you were. But the impact is different. And then when they get older, we see a lot of times they come back and they admit it. man, I messed up in my 20s. Man, I should have been trying to focus on family and all this and that then and there, right? So, but it's still, listen, it's still a lot of women out here in their 30s and in their 40s that look amazing and feel amazing as well. I've been with a few. So shout out to the women. I love them and I rock with them, but I am a male advocate. So I'm going to support my brothers, but I support the women too. And I support Chicago, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well said, man. I definitely agree on that last part as well too about and that's how I feel about, unless he's just a catty man. I feel that men, the intent is not to destroy a woman. You
Right.
know, that can be collateral, as you said, what
Mhm.
happens ultimately with her being jaded and things like that. But I never think a man, it's never his intention to hurt or emotionally scar or destroy a woman. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that's one of those, yeah, that's one of those things, man. Happiness. I ask that because I know that's one of those questions that, you know, that comes up. Should
Mhm.
I stay in a situation where I'm not happy? Um, what's how do you measure, how do you weigh love, happiness, and duty? You know, you
Mhm.
have all those three in a relationship with moving forward. And what is it that you is the backbone of this relationship at the end of the day? You know what I mean? What the endurance of the whole thing. So that's I know that that's one of those questions that is subjective to each person and their situation, what they can, you know, deal with. But you know, I figured I'd get your opinion on that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know what's so weird to me though is that it seems like maybe you can answer this question. Matter of fact, let me ask you this question. Do you think, specifically for us black people, and maybe even primarily for black women,
Hmm.
that the only time that they can't accept the idea of unhappiness in a situation is in relationships? Because it seemed like they can do it anywhere else. I know people who was on jobs for 10, 15, 20 years. It didn't matter what happened on that job, how many times the people pissed them off. They come home every day mad about it, bringing their work home with them, bringing the boss home with them, you know, all this different stuff. And they can be on those jobs forever. If you ever known a person who was in pharmacy or in nursing, I mean, that those jobs suck for those women, but they go all in. And I think it's because they value the reward more so than they hate the unhappiness that comes along with it. So in your opinion, do you think that relationships might be the only place where people maybe even choose not to comprehend the unhappiness factor, that is just a part of every part of your life, children, every other place, we accept what comes along with it?
I think there's a certain motivation, as you said, which is employment and the reward,
Mm-hmm.
employment reward hand in hand. But people will only change for something that's compelling.
Right.
So in terms of a relationship, unless she's dependent or codependent in the situation,
There you
I
go.
mean, that's something you can easily, I don't want to say easily get out of, but if there's really no reward in at the end of the road, then I mean, you
Absolutely.
can move on. But it's the comfort of a job too.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you, like I said, people only change. You will change that job only when it becomes emotionally compelling for you to seek another job or happiness, or you know, the confidence to be able to do that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So you will endure a job, for lack of a better term, because maybe you don't have the confidence or the wherewithal or the assets or the funds to actually, you know, try to seek another one. You know what I mean? Unless it
Yeah.
has to happen and you're fired or something like that. You know, same thing with, you know, if you get divorced or if you lose your significant other dies and things like that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but I think that if it's something that people like, consistency and you know, the status quo sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes a job provides that comfort. You know, I think
Absolutely.
that's the difference with that. You know what I mean? Unless you just got somebody that's paying your every bill. You know what I mean? Which I guess that goes back
Yeah.
to what we were talking about, the old marriages and things like that, where
Mm-hmm.
they had no choice but to stay and be quote unquote unhappy
Mm-hmm.
situations, for lack of a better term. You know, so to answer your question, but that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's what I, but I think that's probably why we're seeing a lot of young cats. Shout out to my man's Aaron O, my man's Cheeky Banter. They're also content creators, but they're young cats, right? Like right at 30, up under 30 years old. And they have a platform that they're pushing, JR, called House Husbands 2024,
Okay.
right? So they saying, no, listen, y'all want to be equal and all this other stuff. You don't want to be told what to do and blah, 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 blah. And you saying this job that you got at home as a housewife is the hardest job. So we'll take that and you go out and work, right?
Right.
So, and also the idea is, like you said, this need, it seemed like this need for there to be a damn near complete dependency on a man in order for you to be able to accept those moments of unhappiness, accept the long-term commitment. At this point, for these young guys, they saying this is not good enough no more. Like they don't want to feel that way no more. They don't want to feel like their paychecks and like their ATMs, right? They don't want you giving them the box for free, but you making them pay for your civility. You making them pay for your cooperation. You making them pay for your nurturing. You making them pay for your submission. You making them pay to be fathers. And the young cats is saying, we not doing this with y'all, right? Mm-hmm. So all these videos you see people complaining about the dating market, don't just make it like these men just woke up one day and they was just weak men. No, there's an ideology behind this stance that they're taking. And I'm actually proud of these young guys.
Right.
Salute, man.
Yeah, shout out to those young men, man. Anything else you wanted to add, Beans? For you?
Nah, it's been a minute since I've been up here. I think the last time I was up here was when Princella was up here with you, and she was over talking me, and I ain't know who she was then, and now she all over the place. So, but I still been tapped in with you. Of course, I'm still subscribed, and so, man, I'm glad to see you still doing your thing. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Everybody numbers is down across the board, bro. I don't know what's going on with the algorithm, bro. Everybody's numbers is down, so it ain't personal.
I ain't got
definitely used to seeing your numbers bigger than this,
But I appreciate you calling in, brother. Hey,
no doubt.
Have a good night, man.
No doubt. Peace.
All right, peace. Shout out to Beans there. Very, very, very enlightening. Very different perspective. On the situation at hand. In terms of that. And I'm not saying it's I was just giving an example. And I'm not saying it's always a woman's fault. I'm just giving an example. I think a lot of times we know what we're getting into. This goes for men and women. But some people just choose to ignore the signs. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it happens, it happens. But again, do some detective work. That's what dating's for. Do some detective work, find out what's going on. I asked a question earlier on my Facebook. Right? Let's see if I can pull it up. Because I don't know if I could how many likes we got? Hey, hit that like button too, guys. We almost got 59 more before we make it to 200 likes. Let's go ahead and hit that like button. I had asked on Facebook today. It's just a hypothetical question, but it was, one of those things where somebody gave me stars on Facebook. Shout out to Omar Adair. I can't highlight the stars on here, but gratitude to you. You know what I'm saying? For the 99 stars. Okay, the question I had, maybe this was yesterday. I post so much on there. I said, a real man, no, it was a statement. It wasn't a question. Excuse me. A real man would tell a woman up front that he is a jobless, homeless felon with 4 baby mamas instead of waiting until she moves him in. Now, that's just an example. I'm not even saying, I'm just throwing it out there in terms of, because you got, some felons are some of the greatest entrepreneurs ever. I just threw that out there. But the fact that you can move a man in and, if he is as he said, a house husband, and he can cook, clean. I wouldn't necessarily say watch your kids, you know, especially if those not his kids. But if he can cook, clean, take care of the house, you know, fix your car and all these other things, he offers all these other benefits other than sitting at home playing video games, you know, while you and drive your car while you at work. Then yeah, but you know, to not know any of these things up front, you know, is definitely a red flag. But a lot of us tend to ignore red flags. I wouldn't say it's understandable, but yeah, you know. But yo, what else y'all got to add to this, man? Because I'm about to get up out of here. We done been on here for an hour. I usually do you know, on Thursdays, you know, this is a Thursday night live. I do if you guys got questions and whatnot, ask away or some input. I think we had a few callers in. No more callers in the chat. So being a house husband does sound cushy, right? Until until you gotta take care of some kids. You gotta be at home babysitting unless you got it down packed, but you know. But if it came to that where you just completely swapping roles out, where the woman goes out there and works and the man sits at home, what a different change of pace. Y'all going out there in the factories and working on high rises, doing construction on the side of the road, building bridges, landscaping out there in the fields, on the boats and everything, out there fishing and out there going to war while the man sits at home. Keeps the kids. Disobedience to God. I don't know, man. I think it's just Western. It's the Western world. Yeah, House Husband should be a show. I think that's a good concept, even though I know they already had probably something similar to that. That would be a good concept for a show. But listen, guys, it's time for me to eat, man. It's getting late. You know, this is a good show tonight. Once again, gratitude for showing up. It's a little late this evening. I'm gonna try to do these more often. Get some engagement going with you guys on Facebook and YouTube here. What's for dinner? Wild caught Atlanta sockeye salmon performed over a bed of jasmine rice. Shout out to my mod, the homie Enos. Love the stream, man. Hope we see more of you, man. Good vibes, good content to unwind from a long day on this 9-to-5 battlefield. Hey, man, anytime, man. Anytime, you know. Tell your friends about me. I'm trying to be this household name. Guys, we're coming up on, let me announce this while I'm at it, guys. We're coming up on, well, I should have 150,000 if I don't, by the end of the night, I should have 150,000. But I'm planning a meet and greet when I hit 200,000. If you're in the Atlanta area, I'm going to announce it ahead of time, you know, for you guys. But I'm going to be doing a meet and greet when I hit 200,000 for sure. It will be in the city of Atlanta. Location to be determined. You know, that way I can fellowship with all you great folks out there. But I might do one next month because I'm doing a collab around the first week of next month. Y'all know that's my birth month, you know. My birthday is in January, so you know, so I might do like a meet and greet, just a impromptu one, which I'll announce. I'll put it up on my community tab, so you guys look out for that. I need to get my Discord going and get you know, for my not the subscribers, what do you call it? For my members, I need to get that stuff going on here, man. It's just been too busy to kind of like get to it. But yeah, I'll probably do an impromptu. But definitely when I hit 200,000, you know, God willing, when I hit 200,000, I'm gonna do that. Been to Iraq. Okay, I bet women will respect men more after having to do their job. Absolutely. Like I say, shut the world down for a day. Tell all men to stay home one day around the world. Y'all send the studs to work though. Shout out to the studs. Pink Pop Tart. Shout out to you. Appreciate the 99 99-cent super sticker. Hennessy, huh? Guys, we got some good things coming up, man. I got you know, if everything works out, we're gonna be trying some new concepts out there. You know, doing some live stuff coming up, like where actually you guys can show up and come in and be a part of the podcast. You know, that is the intent, to start having live shows, you know, at locations, for sure. So just announcing that right now. It would be funny if I got mostly females at the meet and greet. Why would that be funny? Enos must have just got a Cash App or something. There's another YouTube creator called Fantastic824. That is a very great brother, man. And you and him have a lot in common. Y'all would make a good collab. Yeah, I might have to check him out. Fantastic824. $200,000 times 290 times 299. What does that mean? I'm kind of slow. Yeah, shout out to him though. But yeah, that's on the horizon, man. Y'all look out for that. I'm gonna be announcing it. You know, if all ladies show up, that's cool. You know, but that's not the case. Yeah, Thai Realty or Reality. I'll be talking like I'm country or something. Yeah, shoot me a I definitely we definitely looking for some locations. Shoot me a email me, or I'm on Instagram. You know, my information is in the description. DM me or whatever, or hit me on Facebook or email me. You know, I definitely would like to hear more about this for sure. Cyanoxic Rose, thank you for the $3 super sticker, super chat, whatever you call it. But yeah, I'm looking at JR Crickets right now, man. That's what we trying to work. We trying to get JR Wisdom, JR Crickets. If you know the owner of JR Crickets, tell him I'm trying to get with him. We're trying to do some things out there, you know. I like JR Crickets. I think JR Crickets would be a dope spot, man. You know, they'll be like, no, he didn't say JR Crickets. Yeah. It's coming. It's gotta happen. It's coming. You know. Then we gonna take it from there to the big screen, right? You heard it first. From there to the big screen. But listen, man, it's time for me to eat. I appreciate everybody. Once again, shout out to Enos, Pink Pop Tart, Cyanic Rose for the super chats. Gratitude, peace and blessings. And whoever I just like to give everybody a shout out, man, because you didn't have to give me anything, you know. I'm just trying to go to Facebook to see who gave me stars. Shout out to Omar Adair for the 99 stars on Facebook. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Date Market 2, seeing your video about that little mix-up you was in. Good luck on this date market on this mix-up. Yeah, I did a story time, man. If y'all haven't seen that story time, y'all check that out. You know, I just did a story time. I posted. I think that was the last video I posted. You know, y'all go check that out. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys on the next one, man. I'll post whatever the next. I think I already got it set up for next Thursday. But if I go live, I'll try to be. I'll try to give you guys a heads up. You know, when I go live. You know, it's good that you guys get notifications. I don't know if it's instant. So, yeah. Well, you guys have a good night. It's the weekend coming. I know a lot of y'all probably jumping into your holiday vacations and all that. So y'all be safe out there, especially if you're running these streets. And you know, peace and blessings, man. You guys be easy.